Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I really do hope you are coping with what's going on in the world, in Kenya to be particular. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are alive. I hope you are cheerful. I hope you are optimistic about your future because it's about to get very interesting in Kenya in particular. So please join me this evening or night, whatever the case it is. I know it's past midnight, 12:30 past midnight in Kenya. If you're still up, if you're somewhere in the diaspora and you're still up, karibu sana. Let me acknowledge a few people on the chat already who are already here. Messi M, hi, nice seeing you. I'm glad to see you. Renee Black, as usual, good evening. Nice seeing you. Gypsy Connor. Oh, she said she has liked and subscribed already. Liked the video and shared already. Thank you so much. Nice seeing you, comrades. Nice seeing you. Now, this morning, I think most people came in and spoke their piece regarding the appointments that happened today in Kenya. Some people were not shocked. Some people were shocked. I personally wasn't entirely surprised by the appointments. I knew it was coming. And my friends, let me just tell you this. There's more to come. This is the second batch, as Ruto calls it. The second batch. There's more surprises that are coming, and I will explain to you this time. I will open the chats later, but I have to explain to you what is happening because we as Kenyans, we listen to these so-called politicians and we don't pay attention. We do not pay attention to what they say. We are all reactive. We react to what they say, then we forget what they say. Then they do something crazy, and then we remember, oh, this is what they say. Oh, they're contradicting themselves. Then we fail to, again, remember what they're saying in the heat of the things, okay? So I will walk you through this. This was coming. This was something that was expected. Okay? But before we get down to business, let's do our business, which is to discuss these things. And in order to discuss these things, we have to have a platform where we can discuss these things and interrogate what needs to be interrogated, okay? Whatever questions we have. So by that, please do me a favor. If you're watching this, you're just joining, it's your first time here, I urge you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like the video as my friend Gypsy has already liked. Share it with as many people as you can. And we will get a platform, somewhere where we can meet up and discuss these things. Okay, Gypsy is telling me from the word go, I say Ruto has something for Raila. The guy is not going anywhere. Absolutely. And I will explain to you. It is not only Raila that he still has something for. He still has something for Kalonzo Musyoka. Don't be fooled, my friends. Do not be fooled by these people. Do not be fooled. Even the split in ODM, don't be fooled. The reason why there's a so-called split in ODM is that they're playing it safe. Remember when Sifuna came out and wrote what he wrote and said anyone that is appointed, is nominated to join Ruto's cabinet does so without the blessing of the ODM party. That is their stand. So he's saying that is them going there by their own. Okay, they are on their own. That is not what was agreed upon. The reason why that statement was read like that, it is because in the event the people push back, the Gen Zs, the Kenyan people, if they stand up in anger and reject those cabinet appointments, they will come back and say, you know what? We did not send those names there. We already had a meeting and we discussed this, and we say that anyone who accepted those ministerial positions in Ruto's government does so or did so on their own. We did not sanction, we did not approve that. That is why they gave that statement that they gave yesterday, saying what they say. It's not a split. It's just a statement, a backup statement. So when people, watu wakianza kusema, hey, nyinyi watu wa ODM, nyinyi mmenunuliwa, they can always come back and say, no. Hao watu walienda peke yao, musiekee baba hii maneno. This was the original statement. That's why you see, the reason why I'm saying that is because if you remember, Kaluma was very clear. He said there were some names that had already been forwarded to President William Samoei Ruto. And he said, Ruto, please name those names as soon as tomorrow. And indeed, which was today. And indeed, Ruto came out and named the names that Kaluma was talking about, that Raila had forwarded to President Ruto. So Sifuna coming out and say that wale watu ambao watakuwa ninio, watakubali hizo maaninio, hizo mapositions za CS, wanafanya hivyo kibinafsi. That way, if there's a backlash, they can always run to Spice FM and say, you know, we already discussed this and we say that anyone who goes there is on their own. It is not us ODM telling them to go there. So what they are trying to get it both ways. The same thing. Raila came out and said that he wanted a dialogue. And the youth, when he went to Kware, and the youth told him, no dialogue. Alafu, he changed tune. He pretended that he was changing tune and said, okay, no dialogue. Then the next day, they had a press statement say that they will have a national conversation, extensive national conversation, which in other words, it's dialogue. It was just playing with words. But they want to have it both ways. That is the thing. They want to have it both ways. And you can't. Now, today's Mada Leo. Ladies and gentlemen, as I implore you to share, subscribe, and comment, and like the video. NADCO implementation is on course as planned. Let me tell you why. NADCO is on ni vile ilipangwa. The first step was to do what? Reconstitute the IEBC. Okay? They have to choose the referee who is friendly. Because I told you, remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been here long enough with me, I told you that a referendum is coming. A change of the constitution is coming. You will be asked to vote for the change of what? Of the constitution. It is coming. And guess who will be overseeing, supervising this referendum, the votes that you're going to cast during this referendum? It is the newly reconstituted IEBC. But as it was, they could not have this IEBC the way it was. They had to bring in extra people. That's why they have this thing called the amendment bill that became law. Remember that was signed at KICC. Then Opionda told us that was one of 9 NADCO recommendations that were fulfilled. So the amendment bill, the IEBC amendment bill was just one step of 9. There were a total of 9. So the second one, he brought the boys in the cabinet. Okay? Now, any law that is brought to the National Assembly, already you have UDA on ODM, who both are now in agreement. They can always vote anything. Itapita tu hivyo bila shida. It's a rubber stamp. And remember, I told you here, and we read it together if you remember, in that amendment bill, IEBC amendment bill, the people who have a huge say as to who is going to be the IEBC commissioners is going to come from these two political coalitions, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. So it is already rigged. So they are going to choose people who they are sure watafanya ile kitu if there's a vote on the referendum. Let me get started. I want to take you back. Melchizedek, nipe dakika kidogo. I see you. Thank you very much. I was surprised you missed the morning show. Tulijaa hapa kweli kweli. But anyway, I want to take you back because I want to explain to people today, most of people who are watching here today, to jog their memory. When lawfully Ruto is required to choose the selection panel, who in turn choose the IEBC commissioners, he was stopped by the Azimio folks. He was stopped by the Azimio folks. Let me remind you. Let me remind you because maybe you may have forgotten. Here it is. I want you to remember this speech that was made by Orengo and our friend Wandai. If I can only get control of this. All right, here it is. Let me get started. Wacha niwaonyeshe. I'll take you step by step so you can know that NADCO is being implemented. Don't be surprised by what these things are happening. These are things that were planned long time ago. Kitambo. This is not today. Here it is. Let me show you. So, Nayona, all right, listen to this. Okay, if I can only get it.
Moving on now, the opposition coalition Azimio la Umoja says it will resist attempts by the government to constitute the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission outside the recommendations of the National Dialogue Committee. Leader of the minority in the National Assembly, Opiyo Wandayi, and Siaya Governor James Orengo warned that any attempt by the Kenya Kwanza coalition to bypass the recommendations of the committee would plunge the country into chaos, as Kenyans will not accept a bipartisan commission. Now, they were speaking at Sigomera Secondary and Busia Vocational Training Institute in Ugunja constituency, Siaya.
Any attempt to reconstitute the IEBC outside the framework that has been established by NADCO will be totally resisted. And if they go ahead and reconstitute the IEBC outside the NADCO framework, then that will only be an IEBC for Kenya Kwanza.
Having gone through the election as a candidate and as a defender of justice in all the courts in the Republic of Kenya and in the Supreme Court, and as somebody who has taken part in negotiations for transformation from one constitutional order to another, at a personal level, now I'm talking at a personal level, there are those you can negotiate with, but there are some people who ab initio you should not.
Anyway, so here you hold on, ladies. So in that clip, you can see that these guys say that nothing will go on unless they sit down and implement what the NADCO recommendation said. And part of the NADCO recommendation was reconstituting the IEBC, which they did through that IEBC amendment bill. And right after that, what did Wandai say? This is what Wandai said. Pay attention to what these people are saying. Instead of right now, watu kila mtu anapiga makelele nasema, oh, sijui nini. Hii kitu ilishapangwa bwana. Angalieni. Listen.
Opiyo Wandayi wants the recommendations by the National Dialogue Committee implemented as a sign of goodwill and commitment before commencement of any talks. President William Ruto has, in the wake of Generation Z, led countrywide demonstrations against the Finance Bill 2024, called for a constructive dialogue to chart the way forward for the nation. Ochola Simon with the details.
As the country grapples with the aftermath of demonstrations triggered by the Finance Bill 2024, President William Ruto has called for an all-inclusive dialogue to give a proper structured framework on how to address issues raised by Gen Z and other stakeholders. National Assembly Minority Leader and co-chair of the National Dialogue Committee, Opiyo Wandayi, however, wants recommendations of the committee implemented is a show of commitment and goodwill to any other proposed dialogue.
So the starting point, before we engage or embark on another round of dialogue or conversation, let us fast track the implementation of the NADCO report. We have, as a country, all it takes to be able to implement that report. To demonstrate good faith and commitment, let us see, beginning Monday next week, a commitment by the government side to have the implementation of the NADCO report fast-tracked.
Wandayi said most of the issues raised by the youth are covered in the NADCO report, and had it been implemented as recommended, perhaps the demonstrations would not have happened. The report, among other issues, recommended constitution of the IEBC and creation of the Office of the Opposition.
Out of the 9 bills that were crafted by the NADCO team, only one has been processed. That is the IEBC Amendment Bill. The other 8 bills are in limbo.
Wandayi also faulted Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over his remarks on the capacity of the National Intelligence Service.
In functioning democratic systems, one would have expected the Deputy President to raise those issues, those concerns that he has about the management of the NIS in the National Security Council.
Okay.
Coverage for just 30.
All right. So you saw, at first they told the president, you cannot implement you cannot choose the selection panel as it is required of him by the law until you consult us, the opposition, because we already agreed on that NADCO proposal. And part of that NADCO proposal, again, required the reconstitution of the IEBC, where Azimio shall, recommended they bring 2 more people, and they made the law in such a way that the 2 coalition parties, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, will have a huge say as to who is going to be the next commissioners in the IEBC. Now, the reason why they started with the IEBC, it is because they will be preparing the country for a referendum to change the constitution. But before they did that, yes, I'm coming to them, Lydia. But before they take it to a referendum, they have to create a space and an environment where they know the motion can move forward. So what they did is, Ruto, bring the most popular leaders, so-called leaders or elected officials from the Azimio ODM party, bring them on board, walete kwa serikali, so that they can be their people. They were hoping that the people from their community will be happy about the appointments. And indeed, we saw, I don't know if those people were paid in Mombasa. I don't know if those people were paid in whatever the case is. They were out there celebrating CS appointments. Okay? But the deal behind that, the logic behind that is this. ODM, who has been the spearheading the opposition, the most influential party within the Azimio coalition, which is ODM. They are the ones who have ripped wamefaidika out of this cabinet cabinet appointments. The reason being, once Ruto brings them to the fold in the serikali, they are hoping that the people on the ground also shall be happy about those appointments. So they are hoping that they'll secure the vote of Nyanza and Western Province and Coast by bringing Joho to the fold, by bringing Ombetsa on the fold, by bringing Mbadi and Wandai on the fold. That way they can secure the votes of this, where these leaders are coming from. Now you'll see these CSS, they will go back to the Mashinani Uko and start campaigning for the things that Ruto is trying to move forward. Okay? That is the logic. Once they bring them to the cabinet and they will start speaking as one, the big seats are coming later. Nisikia vizuri. The big seats are doing what? Are coming later. Now you'll hear Wakina Joho, who is a populist, is a demagogue, Ombetsa, Mbadi, and the rest. You'll see them. They'll have a tour as they start their so-called positions. They'll be going in different parts of the country. Mostly, there are places where they are popular, Mombasa and Nyanza Province and Western, telling people to prepare for a new constitution, that now they're in the government. And they'll start telling you, have you seen how we're bringing difference? Unaona vile tumeweza kujenga magari malinio, mabarabara hapa. Can you see that I'm working in the treasury? Now pesa iko kwa ninio, kwa mfuko. You see now that we are doing this, because they want to prepare you for the next step in this, which is a change of the constitution. Because the big seats that they really want to bring forth require that they have to change the constitution in order for these seats to be created. Okay? Like the seats of the official opposition, which Raila might have. Another seat of a prime ministerial position. Maybe Raila will have that, or Nani, Kalonzo Musyoka. Okay? These seats are not there in the current constitution. So they have to change the constitution to do that. But how are they going to do that? Like I told you, the first step, awa wakina Mbadi, awa wakina sijui nani ambao wamechaguliwa hapa, wakina Joho, you'll still see them touring Nyanza Province, Mombasa, uko ninio, Rift Valley, telling the people that, listen, we are bringing change to Ruto ametuleta kwa government, ndio we are bringing change, so we want to change the constitution so we can have a more inclusive government. Ndio wale watu wakina sijui wakina Martha Karua na nani wasilielia huko nje, wasipigwe na baridi huko nje ya niyo government. So we need to change this constitution. So in order to do so, and they will prepare, because watapitisha motion huko kwa parliament ya kusema kwamba tuende, let's go have a referendum. And by the way, they will be confident that they'll win in that referendum because they've already chosen an IEBC that will do their bidding, will do their rigging. That is why IEBC was number one. You have to see how these people think. You think I'm joking? Even as the president announced, telling us about the new new cabinet secretaries, he already was mentioning about amending a certain bills, amending a certain laws, amending certain laws, because it is to create a pathway for the big seats that are coming. Zile seats ambao wanapigania ile yenyewe. Jiulize Raila amepata nini? Raila nangoja, he knows. He's waiting. Kalonzo haku, usifikiri Kalonzo kwa baridi. Kalonzo was the one who was spearheading this NADCO. Lakini unamwona saizi bado anajifanya ati, oh, mimi sijasikizana na Raila sijui nini, ati Gen Z. No. These people are not Gen Z. They know that the big seats are coming. Hao wanangoja ile ninio, hiyo katiba igeushwe. Bado. wakina Mbadi na sijui nani wameingizwa kwa serikali, ndio sasa nyinyi wananchi wa kutoka huko sehemu zao huko Coast, huko Nyanza, huko sijui wapi, mwanze kufurahia ati Ruto is finally ameleta watu wetu kwa nini kwa serikali, watu wetu pia wako kwa serikali, because they are playing into the old thinking, parochial thinking, ati mtu wetu wako kwa serikali, mtu wetu wako serikali. So Ruto will start saying, unaona hata nilienda nikaleta wakina Joho hapa. Nilienda nikaleta wakina Ombetsa hapa. Mliona nikaeka Mbadi hapo kwa treasury kwa sababu imesoma sijui CPA, sijui nini accounting. Because he's playing to that. He knows tribalism is one of the biggest monsters in Kenya. He wants to lure you through tribalism. So once these people are in the government, ODM and a good chunk of the Azimio party coalition will start working closely together with Kenya Kwanza. Okay? And there'll be very little opposition at the national level or in the Senate. Because now they want to prepare the ground. They want to prepare the ground for a constitutional change. A constitutional change? Katiba lazima igeushwe ndio Raila apate kiti ya prime minister. Katiba lazima geuzwe ndio watu kama Kalonzo can have a party a position ya prime minister ama ya official opposition. This is what the Mbadis are there for. They want to start working together, and then they'll start programming your minds with this language of inclusivity. Munaona, tuliongea na rais was included us. We are from different tribes, we are from different parts of the country. So now we want to take it to the next level, because tunaona wakina Kalonzo Wakamba wamewekwa nje, Wakikuyu wamewekwa nje, watu wa Rift Valley sijui nini wamewekwa nje. So we are going to change this constitution to bring in more people, more leaders, tribal chieftains to come in. So we need to create this position of prime ministerial position, the official opposition office, and sijui nini prime secretary sijui nini hiyo ya Musalia Mudavadi. They are going to create that, and they are going to lead us to a referendum. That was part of the agenda in the NADCO report. So hawa wakina Orengo wakipiga makelele hapo, nyinyi bado mnasikia ati Orengo is standing up for the truth, sijui Kalonzo is standing up with the Gen Z. No. Ni kujifanya. They cannot show their hand because they are waiting for the big seats. The big seats requires that we change the constitution. It was in the NADCO proposal. Even as Raila was received the NADCO proposal and signed it and accepted it, he said so. He said that some of it will require that we change the constitution, and he knows and he wants it. So he's patiently waiting. Walikuwa napima weather na ile the first batch. Sasa wamepima weather wakaona hivyo wakasema haya wachilia ingiza wakina Joho. But it was well choreographed. You know why it was well choreographed? Wali-announce hizo cabinet ministry, alafu wakaenda wakatuma watu waende wakasherekea huko kwa mtaa, so that it gives an impression that watu wa Mombasa are now happy with Joho. Watu wa sijui so now are happy with Mbadi. People of Siaya are happy with Wandai. People of sijui nini are happy because they've choreographed a few youth who they've paid to go out there and celebrate and give the impression that people are happy with this inclusive government. Munanisikia vizuri? Listen to what these people say. Even in the president's speech, you have to listen to what they are saying. Hii ni NADCO inakuja. Why do you think Raila was so adamant he wants this dialogue, conclusive, sijui nini, inclusive discussion, national discussion, sijui nini? Why do you think he was so much into that? Why are they so obsessed with this idea of talking, meetings? Kwa nini? Hakuna meeting wanataka. Ni nusu mkate. And it's coming. Go look at the agenda ya NADCO. Hii ni NADCO inaletwa pole. Nyinyi mnafikiri ni jokes. Na wanajifanya ati wamefurahia. They are bringing it. Saizi nyi bado mnapiga makelele mnasema, oh, we are disappointed with Mbadi, we are disappointed with this nini. Wanangoja mpige makelele alafu ikishapoa kidogo by next week mchape maandamano hapa, mchape maandamano mkishapoa hivi, haya mtasikia, oh, now we are working together. Sasa tuanze katiba igeuzwe, prime minister position. You'll see. You know, I've been telling you these things here and you don't understand. Now people, saizi ukienda kwa other platforms, the discussion is the anger towards Raila Odinga and ODM. They are missing the point. Raila alishauzwa kitambo. Raila alishaenda kitambo. Jamaa alishauzwa kitambo. But now people are still excited about ini NADCO inaletwa hapa. Pole na kwa upendo na utaratibu. Listen to the president's speech. I want us to listen together. I didn't even listen to the whole thing. I know it's lengthy, but listen to it. Utasikia kuna laws zingine anataka a change. He wants to change some laws. Every time you hear the people want to change laws, na watu wengine wameingizwa kwa serikali, be very wary. Sikia tu. Mimi si wadanganyi. Tusikie. Mnafikiri ni mchezo? Haya. Twendeni. Nyinyi sasa mnapiga makelele Mbadi, sijui Mbadi. Haya, wachane nini Mbadi? Mbadi wachane na Mbadi. Mbadi alishanunuliwa kitambo. Mlikuwa mnafikiri anapiga makelele kwa nini? Sitalijua pesa imeshaingia. Wacha tuendelee hapo.
It's a free, open, and democratic country based on the rule of law and constitutionalism. Our fundamental rights and freedoms are guaranteed by the Constitution and cannot be taken away. They include the freedom of conscience and expression, the right to assemble and to demonstrate, picket, and present petitions. In the past few weeks, we have all witnessed the direct and robust exercise of these rights and freedoms by Kenyans, called on their government to pay attention to urgent national issues and to prioritize necessary changes and reforms to actualize their aspirations. It is with deep regret that I have to say that many Kenyans lost their lives and others seriously injured as a result of disturbances occasioned by lawless activity during these protests. This is not how and where our democracy should proceed. And we must do all we can to ensure that this does not occur again in future. The government of Kenya will provide necessary support to all families and citizens who lost their loved ones. Unfortunately, there has been many instances of excessive, unlawful, dangerous, and harmful conduct during the demonstrations and engagements, as a consequence of which many persons have been arrested and charged in courts with various offenses. I urge the criminal justice agencies to take effective measures and ensure that people who may have been innocently caught up on the wrong side of things and those not implicated in crimes be released and charges against them withdrawn. This will enable the agencies to focus their resources, efforts, and time in investigating and prosecuting serious criminal elements who took advantage of peaceful demonstrations to advance a dangerous agenda of lawlessness, anarchy, and mayhem. It is
Karibu Melchizedek.
Asante sana.
Fungua roho.
Umeshinda. Ni roho yangu
Nimeshinda
imechafuka.
kama ati roho yako imechafuka. Nini mbaya?
Nilikuambia hapa juzi. Anyway, let me start by say hi to everyone in the comment section. I hope you are doing well. I'm also doing well here. But it's unfortunate that what we are seeing is going beyond our thinking capacity. Yeah, last time nilikuambia vizuri na ulikuwa nadhani na kuchezea. I'm Melchizedek, so I see. I photo. That's why I don't want to support any politician in my life. Let me be myself, because there is nothing these people are helping me with. Today's news, I was very, very annoyed when I see those who are supporting, they're talking about Gen Z. Now they're the top ACAs now. And kuna kitu inaendelea Kenya ambayo bado tunaweza sema bado hatujakuwa serious with the reason. Unaona ya kwamba watu wanasai wanaongea maneno ya Raila. They don't talk about themselves. We have good leaders. We have those who can govern Kenya. We have those who can be a very, very good example to our future children. But we keep on doing one mistake, that if we have not changed, then this mistake will haunt us the rest of our life. By pointing those who have been in the power for the past 20 to 10 years, 10 to 20 years, and we are not seeing this, and this is something that is killing us. And this is the totally mess that all Kenyans are doing, because unaambiwa vizuri, kuna vijana ambayo bado ni wadogo ambao wanataka kazi, au wakikuja bila pesa uweze wa kuchagua. Lakini wale ambayo wako na pesa, wakina Orengo na wakina nani, wakikuja wamemwaga pesa, yeye ndio kusema. And this, I'm telling you today, and I will repeat it, if we don't change, even if we go to barabara for the rest of our life, we are doing nothing. Let us wait for 2027, because there is nothing. There tutapiga kelele, watu wataenda wataribu vitu, the same thing will happen. The only thing that will change Kenya now is to do away with these old politicians. If you have served even a MP even one term, you are not supposed to go back there. This will assist, and this will help a lot. But when we still thinking that, oh, kuna Babu Owino bado tutamchagua kwa sababu ni mwili ndogo, sasa tunaona ni kijana. No. Let us call a spade a spade. The guy is old, but the only body is giving us the chance to be a Gen Z. He can be a Gen Z even at 20 years because of the body. Yes? So, as I was saying, sorry, somebody distracted me when I was talking.
Naona kuna wageni huko background. Yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, we'll give Melchizedek a few minutes to get it situated. Hapo pale kuna makelele kidogo. Yeah. What's going to happen is that this NADCO thing is implemented. And I agree with Melchizedek here that we have to change our mentality. We cannot vote for these same folks and expecting results. They're the same old people. Now, my question is, I guess it's going to be the reaction by the Gen Z after these appointments. Are they going to be happy about it? Are they going to the streets with more vigor to reject what has been forwarded? The nominations? How will the Gen Zs react to this? Because from everything I see on Twitter, no one seems to be happy about these appointments. Nobody. Nobody. Hakuna mtu hata kidogo. So Melchizedek, niambie kama utapata nafasi, uniambie whenever you're ready, you can just continue and talk. But meanwhile you're doing that, let me show some videos that are coming up and the reaction by people about what's going on, the decision that was made today to nominate some well-known people who have checkered past. Ombetsa stole 20 million from Kakamega County. In fact, there was a time where EACC had to freeze his assets, his first wife's assets, the second wife's assets, because of the money that he misappropriated when he was the governor of Kakamega. Hassan Joho, we know his history. He's not a clean man. Also, there was corruption in Mombasa. Governor, when he was a governor, ufisadi. Okay? Mbadi, maybe we can say he doesn't have many ninio, but Mbadi is not principled. Okay? So these folks are not exactly angels. These folks are known to be just as bad as the guys who are ninio. Then Ruto brought back the most hated CS, Murkomen. Ay! Murkomen na zile belt zake za sijui elfu ngapi is brought back on the fold. Murkomen is still with us. My friends, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. Let's take a look at this clip. There's a clip here that people have been playing because a lot of people are sending their shots at none other than Raila Odinga. Let's see.
Raila was not hanged and Ochuka was. Same Raila Odinga, a coward, betrayed his comrades. The same way he betrayed me.
Betrayed his comrades?
They were hanged, he was not. Why? Have you ever wondered why Raila was not hanged and Ochuka was? Ochuka was simply a senior private in the army, in the Air Force, right? So who could have been the leader of that movement? A private in the army or Raila Odinga, the son of Jaramogi? Who had the money to fund the coup? Ochuka, private, was earning less than 10,000 shillings. Could actually do a coup? Have you guys wondered? But he was hanged. Wow. Uriwe Hongo was hanged. Ogido Bon was hanged. Many others, junior officers, were hanged. Raila Odinga survived. How? Ask yourself. How was Raila saved? What saved him? Because he betrayed his comrades, just like he betrayed me.
Hey.
Yes.
Endelea.
Nilikuwa nimepigiwa simu, niko kazi kidogo. So nimepata chance kidogo nimalize, then nitarudi baadaye.
Sawa.
Yeah, so as I was saying, Vile nimesema na sitarudia, wenye wamesikia wasikie, wenye hawajasikia wangoje pesa ya 1000 wawekewe mafuta, wakimbie kidogo, next year waanze kukimbia tena. The government we appointed is killing us. Remember when people say that Ruto is the best, watu wa mama walifunga mpaka leso wakiimba. This time round we have somebody who will favor us. Those times we did not have Gen Zs. They just came yesterday. But they're also doing something which they have to understand that they are doing vitu ambazo haileweki. I'm not supporting anyone. Today I'm just someone who is talking anyhow. Someone who can get me, but my point will be at I will bring my point at home. Gen Z wakitaka kutoa Ruto waache kuropoka. Wakienda X wakisema ya kwamba kesho tunaenda airport, tunaenda wapi. We already talk enough. Kila mtu kwa hiyo nini wako na namba ya simu. Kama ni Safaricom ndio inatoa siri, wabadilishe maneno ya namba. Kila mtu akuwe na WhatsApp group, watu wa communicate. Today we are going to do this. It's not matter of telling everybody that tomorrow we have maandamano. These people also, they are prepared when you tell them that we are coming for you. So if they want to do something which is meaningful, they have to change their ways of maandamano. Let us not be kama wale ambao wajui kesho ni nini. The reality is there are those who are kuna wasaliti hapo ndani ya hiyo Gen Z ambayo tayari unaona watu wengine washakuwa wamepewa mpaka CS huko wako ndani huko. Usidhani amepigania kiasi gani apate hiyo nini. Hata sasa wanaambiwa ati uko na jamaa mwingine hapo hivyo. Those are the culprits. Those are people are bringing us back. So kama uko hapa na unajua unanisikiza vizuri, go and tell your Gen Z, change the ways of maandamano. Then things will go on. But if you are telling everybody sahi enda kwa kila platform unasikia kesho ni nini. You don't tell a thief I'm coming to catch you. Hata Yesu alisema atarudi usiku. Alimwambia mtu wakati unatarudi. Hakuna hakumwambia mtu nitarudi saa ngapi. Alisema usiku. Why can't you just follow what Jesus said? I'm going to prepare a place for you. So when I come, I will come at night as a thief. Also be like a thief. Go in that parliament when you're a thief. Nobody knows that you are there.
Okay.
Tunakuja hapo tunapiga kelele, tunasema serikali. Na sisi ndio tulichagua hiyo serikali. I'm pissed off. I'm really, really pissed off. And my parents and my elder brothers, we need to wake up also. Because these are the people also killing us by doing things that mtu anakupea 20 bob, alafu unasema ya kwamba yeye ndio kila kitu. Raila ametoka. Amefanya vitu alikuwa anafaa afanye. Wacha aende nyumbani, kama anaenda hiyo UN aende. Kama haisi mshinda, mpe ng'ombe 2 aende alime nyumbani, watu wanyamaze. Kila mtu mwingine pia kuje. Even if we can be leader. No? No one is giving us that chance to be the leaders that they have, because we don't have money. If we have money, we can be that leaders, but tuta change mind yetu after kukua kwa hiyo kiti. unafikiria umefika. Let us not blame the old man. He has tried.
Okay.
Hata kama ni corruption ama nini, let us not blame him. He has done his part. Tunafaa tumshukuru penye ameleta Kenya. Kama ni mbaya mbaya, kama ni mzuri mzuri, tuseme. Hata wewe kuna place ambayo hauendi vizuri. No one is 100%. Yeah. So it's already happened. Nothing we will do.
Okay.
So if you want to do something, come with another strategy that will make change. But don't tell us that tomorrow we are going to JKA to kupanda ndege kuenda Canada. Hapo si ya kuenda tu.
Chesedek. Hey, leo.
Wewe sema ati unaenda State House. In which way you will go at State House? By telling President I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Oh my friend. That one is daydreaming. Daydreaming. Unaota ukitembea.
Sikia. Kuna nini unataka kusikia hapo kidogo? Hebu kabla sijaleta Bernard, ngoja. Unajua leo watu wana react differently. Mi leo hata mi unajua mi naangalia tu kitu ni NADCO. NADCO inaingia tu polepole but just for comic relief, wacha nisikie tu kuna zingine hata haya. Wacha nisikie hapa kidogo.
Asante sana Mr. Speaker, almost Jakababa 1 hour. From today, no maandamano kitu ya kwanza. Hakuna maandamano. Hakuna. Hakuna maandamano kutoka leo. Sisi kama atutaki. Ruto sasa ni mweupe kama pamba. Hakuna. Ukweli niko. Bwana, point ni yangu. Hatukuwa tunataka William Samuel Ruto. Lakini kwa sasa hii baba amependa. Baba akipenda
enough of those jokes. Bernard, karibu. I've been the best yeah, you can start whatever you want, but the topic I was just trying to make, the point I was trying to make, Nikwa, this thing is NADCO. It's NADCO basically being implemented and it's going as they planned it. Yes, we are being sidetracked, bado tunakasirikia our CSS and all that, but this is NADCO. Go ahead.
I think you're wrong on NADCO, because NADCO was on one side was Kalonzo, and on the other side was Kimani Ichung'wah. Those are the two people who were negotiating. And then in the middle of NADCO, Gen Z issue came up. And then in that Gen Z fracas, Raila showed up from nowhere and said something to do with dialogue. And we remember Kalonzo backed off and told Raila, I'm not part of this. And then at one point, some goons somewhere entered some place and chased Kalonzo away. So this is not NADCO. Let's be clear about that. This is something else, because NADCO includes Kalonzo, and Kalonzo is clearly a target for what's happening right now. So that's number one. Number two, by bringing these Luo leaders into government, well, we can give some tokens to some people, but you cannot satisfy every person. So what we do know as of right now is that ODM is split. You have the James Orengo camp, and then you have the John Mbadi camp. Also, interestingly enough, by bringing in John Mbadi, Opio Wandai, Ali Hassan Joho, Oparanya, all those four individuals were contesting for ODM leadership. Now that they're in cabinet, they're officially out of ODM and they can't contest ODM leadership, which begs the question, who will get the ODM leadership. And in my calculation, it's going to go to either Simba Arati or Babu Wino. Those are guys on the ground and guys who are opposed to Ruto vehemently. So this is another massive blunder on the part of William Ruto. He is not addressing the core problem of Kenya. He's playing ping pong to survive. But revolutions have a way of dealing with people like Ruto.
Okay, I see Jay here. The reason why I said it was NADCO, and I may be wrong, you're right. I was thinking of it like this because I thought about it and I was like, you know, when Raila came out first with this whole dialogue thing when they were signing the IBC amendment bill, of course, there was a backlash on that. So he had to change tune. Then he went to that quarry place with those vijana, and the vijana was like, oh, no dialogue, no dialogue. So they told him in his face, hey, no dialogue. So he went back, basically just, you know, used sophistry, used other words. Instead of saying dialogue, he said, okay, we are going to have a broad-based conversation with the world, with the whole Kenya therapy session, national therapy session, where you can come and we listen to your cries. So basically what I'm trying to say is this. He was repackaging it as, okay, we are going to talk, but he was gun-ho on getting into cabinet with this Kenya Kwanza Ninio. And now, if I think about it, I went back and thought about what was the whole purpose of NADCO. NADCO was designed to bring all the tribal chieftains to come aboard so they can have their tribal positions, so they can maintain power as the political class, which is happening in steps. The number one thing they did, make sure that we choose the right referee. There you go. You have the IBC. Now, in the second phase of it, which is now including especially the ODM first, because they can't just choose everyone at first, like everyone at once, in my opinion. Like if they bring in Kalonzo and Raila and Renew at once, it will be so obvious. I mean, the country will erupt and be like, you know, we see, they are just corrupt. So they want to do it gradually by first, bring the first batch, second batch, which is the Wakina Joho. Now they're in the cabinet. So there'll be less resistance or anti-Ruto sentiment in the Western province and some parts of Nenio. Of course, the young folks are still mad. Don't get me twisted. But for the most part, that's why they had these young folks come out and celebrate. Yeah. Then, now the next phase is now that they have relative support for this government because of these ODM people coming in, they'll try to work on changing the constitution because they want to see how the crowd reacts to this cabinet if they are going to cool down after a month or two, because, you know, as you know, that's why they're doing it pole. So then, after they push for that, ndio wataleta ile referendum, because already IBC is in place. The referendum is what will create the big positions for Raila Odinga and Kalonzo and so forth. That's why Sifuna's statements that he wrote for the ODM party, this is our stance, was not the same as what Kalume was saying, because they want to, if there's a huge backlash against them, wanaweza kusema no, our official stance was what Sifuna wrote, that we are not going to let anyone go to Ninio Ruto's government, and anyone that goes to that cabinet does that on their own volition. So that's how I look at it. They want to play both sides, but their real aim is to implement NADCO. But I might be wrong. Let me just hear from Jay. Jay, it's been a while. How are you doing? And what's your take on all this madness that's happening in Kenya?
It's what I was expecting to happen, just getting the same old names you've heard before. But I think he's just trying to buy more time as usual, because I think he's expecting that if he keeps on ignoring the protests and doing nothing, it will kind of fizzle out on its own. But it's just bringing on the same old names. But this whole NADCO thing, I'm not too sure if there's a second agenda of trying to bring in NADCO part 2 or but I'm not too sure. Yeah. Okay.
What do you make of, do you think this appointment of Mbadi and the rest, are they influential enough to maybe discourage the mandamano that's going to happen? Because I was looking at Boniface Mwangi's page and he's talking about, I think they're happening. there's something happening in Nyayo House on Thursday. I'm not sure what it is, but basically, we know, I think we all can agree somehow that these people are brought in to kind of, accommodate some quarters of the country so that they cannot be all anxious about removing Ruto. Do you think this will help Ruto buy time, or the Gen Z are just like, no, you have to go regardless of whether you have these people or not?
There's a Japanese proverb where it's when the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. And this is a guy from, Kanu 92 is used to the whole mtu to politics, but then now it's a whole different thing. It's not a case of picking people from certain communities and assigning them to certain possessions and making sure you get the percentages right. Then everything will calm down. I think it's much different than that. So it's a miscalculation on this part. Yeah.
Okay. Bella, do you agree that's a miscalculation? Because to me, I don't know what the next Mandamano is about, judging from what Boniface Wangi was posting. I know it's a memorial thing for the folks that died or something like that at Nyayo. They'll be going to Nyayo. Is it Nyayo State? Not Nyayo Stadium, Nyayo House or something like that. Will it be effective? Well,
But what I expect to happen is that things will die down a little bit, because this Ruto is a move by Ruto to buy time, and he might get some time, just a little bit of some time, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem that's facing the country. And let me also point to you that NADCO was heavily influenced by the United States government. It was the US that forced Raila off the streets to negotiate with Ruto. Actually forced both of them to sit down, and and Obasanjo midwifed the deal. So things have since metamorphosed into something else, and it's becoming more chaotic and more unpredictable. So Ruto is just basically moving from, if you can say, day to day. I don't think there's a grand scheme that's being executed here. This is a day-to-day thing, and he's just being tactical, one day at a time. Okay, let me bring in this. Well, let me see what happens next. Let me read the mood. It's that kind of thing. So with the Boniface Mwangis of this world, what I expect is for things to cool down a little bit, but I don't expect things to die. You'll hear a few things here and there being organized, and then Ruto will think he has a masterstroke, and he'll become emboldened, and another scandal is going to emerge, and the public is going to get enraged, and then this thing will explode to levels not seen before. And this is why I'm not sure what he's planning to do with Moses Kuria, because Moses Kuria is so far out of the equation. I'm not sure what he's planning to do with Ababu Namwamba. Has been removed from government. So Ababu is a guy who's, he's changed sides a lot. But the thing about Ababu and Moses Kuria, they're young. These are young people, much younger than Raila. And you remember at one point, Ababu and I think it was Ababu and Joho and someone else won the elections of ODM, and then some men in black came and caused some mayhem in Kasarani. So these are smart young people who are outside government, and they could easily take advantage of the chaos happening in Kenya right now and come up with something to sweep this government out of power. So that's one possibility I'm saying.
Yeah, Ababu Mamba, I know he's fairly young. I think he's in his 50s or late 40s or whatever. But I think the way Ruto is looking at this is influence. If you had to put Babu Owino and Ababu Mwamba and Ombetsa Oparanya, I mean, as corrupt as Ombetsa is, I don't think Babu Mwamba has more weight in influence than Oparanya. And Oparanya Nani Babu Namwamba, he has a reputation of being a womanizer. That's what he was saying. So people are not a lot of people don't kind of care much about him. So I don't think the way remember in the morning we were talking about, this is about replacing the Mount Kenya voting bloc with the Western. So the way I see it, and I might be wrong, Jay, maybe you might correct me. He's sacrificing the people of the mountain for the Western province and Nyanza. Like, he can care less now about the Moses Kuria of this world. Now he will try to, endear himself with Watu Wakina Ombetsa, and that's why Ombetsa is there, Joho to hold down the coastal region, and then of course he has Raila in his back. How do you see this? I mean, like you said, we don't know how it will play, but again, another question too. What happens if, now that we have this cabinet, he has a little bit of time and things actually start improving with this new treasury and all this? Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, with like someone like Abab, I don't think anyone at all takes him seriously whatsoever. It's kind of like like a clown or a jester in cabinet. But with Kuria, I think that's a very good point in terms of that's someone who was like supporting you for years now, and you kind of stabbed him in the back and left him out to dry. So that's easily something to watch out for. But then in terms of things improving, I don't see that happening.
Yeah. Bernard, how influential is Kuria in Western? Is this? I mean, in Central. I know he's vocal. He was a close friend of Ruto. He hasn't said anything. Actually, he hinted something. Like again, I was saying, Ruto can care less right now about. He knows that the people of Central will never vote for him. They feel betrayed. They feel left out. People like Nyoro and Ichungwa, they know they are serving one time and they probably have to steal whatever they can steal for their retirement. What's their move? Because it seems like, because I think for Central Province, now I see why they would be vested in this Gen Z thing. Because if we go back to the tribal, blocks, tribal coalitions, the Central Province, of course, they have the money, so they can make things happen, but they seems kind of isolated. What do you think?
Well, remember, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
So, the biggest problem with Central right now is that there's no political party. And it was Moses Kuria's long-standing position that they need a political party. And he kept telling Central people to form a party, and they wouldn't listen to him. And then actually Ruto prevailed upon Moses Kuria to fold his party in exchange for cabinet position. So number one, Kuria and Ababu Namwamba, they're not so influential on the ground, but what they have is one in common. They have what we call a high gangster index, which is what can create problems. Yeah.
Well, can you explain the gangster influence index? Can you explain the high gangster index? I like that term.
I mean, the gangster index is someone who can really disrupt stuff, go around and call people names and grab this from here, go to this person, confuse this person. Like they just disruptive.
Yeah.
So and then Ababu and Oparanya are different because Oparanya is old and is from Kakamega, and Ababu, I think, is from somewhere in South Nyanza. So these are different demographics.
No, yes. Ababu is from Bo something.
Busia.
No. Crap, I forgot. But yeah, one of those Western I forgot.
But I know his house is on the shore, like Victoria. That I know is for a fact. Because I've seen him pull up to his house in a boat.
Maybe.
And actually, I should know because his brother and I are good friends. But in the terms of votes, Ruto has,
Budalagi. Sorry, Budalagi.
Yeah, Budalangi, yes.
Yeah.
Ruto has done well with Oparanya because Oparanya brings Kakamega, and Kakamega is extremely vote rich, just like Bungoma. So that can compensate for a little bit of the losses he'll encounter in Mount Kenya. But remember, I keep insisting, this thing has split ODM. So he's going to lose big time in Luo Nyanza and Gusii, Nyanza. Those are counties, the Kisii counties, and some Nyanza counties like Siaya. Homa Bay he might take because of Mbadi's from Homa Bay. But Kisumu Central, where Anyang' Nyong'o is from, we don't know yet. And then that's very cosmopolitan with Wahindis and Kikuyus and everything. So if you split Nyanza into two, we take Kisumu, Siaya, and the two Abagusi counties. You know, the numbers. This game doesn't work well for Ruto. It's like he's taking the whole bag. He's not.
Yeah.
So and then you bring in these two gangsters. They go create mayhem.
I think someone they can reach out to in the Kisii area is Nani. What's his name? That Matiang'i. I think they can bring Matiang'i in the fold. The central people, if they wanted to start their own thing.
No. What's going to happen is Arati is going to take over ODM because all these other people are now in government. And then once Arati takes over ODM, they're going to bag so many of these votes, and then they could strike a deal with people like Akina Moses Kuria, who will come up with some other outfit in some place. And then remember, Nani is disgruntled. Kalonzo Musyoka.
Yeah. But Kalonzo,
so you're beginning to see that even if Ruto, this government takes people to paradise, which I don't think they will, they still don't have 50+1 as is right now with all the euphoria. Because you have the Kalonzos of this world, you have the Aisha Jumos of this world.
That's why we have what's his name? Joseph Stalin said, it is not the people who vote that determines an election, it is the people who count the votes. That's why that IEBC is so important. They are going to rig themselves to the next government after the 2027. If you wait till 2027, I believe that so much because this is a sinking ship. So I do not see Ruto and whoever is joining him succeeding. On that point again, that point that you said ODM is split again, I'm telling you, these guys are not split. They know what's happening. They're trying to play both sides. See, the thing is with the ODM, they want to stand with the people. They want the support of the Gen Zs and the people in general. And at the same time, they want to be part of Ruto's government. That's their problem. That's why I was mentioning that whole, what's his face giving that statement, Sifuna. But anyway, I see it's late and people are kind of today. The morning session was better than that. Jay, do you have any last word before I wrap this up?
I think it's obvious that there'll be a succession crisis brewing in ODM because if we're being honest, Australia is like 80, maybe has
135.
Maybe 2 or 3 elections left. So I think there'll be struggles to see who becomes the next so-called Baba. So it's
because they were also threatening what's his name, Sifuna, for giving that statement. So they're talking about wanting to leave it. So you're right. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Anyway, I'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for Jay and Bernard and everybody who was on the comment section. It's been an hour. It was a quick evening hour. I'll see you guys next time. I have to shout out Renee Black, Lydia Captain, Gypsy Corner as usual, Chelsea Chronicles. Hey, Chelsea are playing in a few hours. If you're still there watching, Chelsea is playing their first preseason, so I'm about to watch that game. I'm so excited. I want to watch I'm a Chelsea diehard fan, so I'm waiting to watch that game. Who else? Abu Kinyanjui, nice seeing you. Renee Black, as usual, nice seeing you. I'm happy to see you. And everybody else, Timothy Cheboy, Melchizedek, who was here, nice seeing you too. Who else? Macy M, who was the first one here. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and do all the good stuff. I'm out for the day. Let me go watch that Chelsea game. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m., which is going to be like 7 p.m. Kenyan time or 6 p.m. Kenyan time. And maybe in the afternoon, if you live in UK, just get your notification on. You'll get the notification that I'll be here, okay? So again, if it's your first time again, if you're going to watch this and repeat, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Peace and blessings.